Good morning, Get Well Soon family.
And happy Sunday.
This is your host, Tyler Kidd.
And your co-host, Angelina Mesa.
And we are back with season 3. We have Heart to Heart. Literally screaming. We are back better than ever. We have upped our equipment. We have upped our settings. We have upped ourselves.
On the GWS Podcast, we cover all kinds of topics. Real, raw, and honest conversations. From light to the heavy. This is an honest and open space for people to step into the shoes of other real-life human beings. We respect your values and ask for you to do the same for us and our guests.
Are you guys ready? Are you ready, Freddie? Are you ready? What's that from, SpongeBob?
I think so. I know so. I'm owning it.
Period. I like to pretend I know things too until I'm proven. We talked about this. Once proven wrong, all right, then I'll admit it maybe.
And if something bothers you, get well soon.
Get well soon, yeah. And just that's why it's a space for all. They know that though. We really do. I mean, except for the men on YouTube. The men on YouTube. Oh.
I really resent that. Men have never been the problem.
When they in fact have been the source of every single problem known to man. And women just exist. And then we started becoming the problem in retaliation. And now it's like, look at them, the women. It's like, no, actually, sorry that we're standing up for ourselves for once. Mr. Your Uterus, My Purpose. Don't get me started. All right. Let's actually get the podcast started. Mixy, ASMR.
I'm going to start seizing on the ground.
I forgot David has a sensory thing for noise. And I just like we haven't even started and I'm triggering and traumatizing you. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's everyone else's world.
That's why.
To be respectful. It's not respectful to seize on the ground just because I don't like the sound.
No, it's the fact that I said ASMR, and now that I'm thinking about the look on your face when I started doing it. Oh man. All right. What a good way to get it started. Everybody. All right, here we go. We're already starting. Welcome to another episode of the Get Well Soon podcast. I'm your host, Tyler Kidd, and we have a special guest today, David. Is it Junga?
It's Junga. The J is a trap.
Oh. David Junga. You know what's crazy? I had you in my phone as David Junga with a Y, and then I saw your last name on the form, and I was like, my dumbass. I was like, why did I think it was a J? Or why did, vice versa or whatever. I really was right on the pronunciation, not the spelling.
You were.
But hello, welcome to the Get Well Soon podcast.
Hello, thank you so much for having me.
Yes, it's bright and early. You guys get to watch this on Sundays at 12 p.m. We get up I usually get up at 4:30. Today we got up at 5:30, thankfully to David, who is the reason I woke up because he came upstairs. And we film from 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. So bright lights, early morning, we have our coffees, and we're ready to get into some good stuff. Yeah, you have a lot to talk about. You are full. I've learned in the past 24 hours many facts. If you guys didn't know, chiropractic is a scheme. We just had that conversation this morning.
Yeah, wake up.
Wake up.
Wake up.
He's like, and pay attention. But we have a lot of really good topics to talk about, a lot of not random facts, but the more that you know, and it's really good to educate yourself in life, because one thing about me, I don't like to be wrong. Do you like to be wrong? I don't think so. So that's why you should be following us on all of our socials, all of our pages. Make sure you're tuning into every episode of season 3 so that you're not on the wrong side. So good morning, excited?
Good morning. Yes, I am so excited.
I haven't seen you in forever.
I know it's been a minute. Mm-hmm. Yeah, since December?
Yeah, a lot has happened.
I know.
I feel like a lot was happening in December when I saw you too.
I think there's just always a lot.
All the time.
Yeah.
And then every time we get together, it's a lot happening with a lot happening, and then it's a lot happening. We're a good time though.
I think so.
I don't think I know. We are a good time. For those of you that are like, how the fuck did you guys meet? Blah, blah, blah. We met on the live reality game, Can You Survive, last fall in Maine. We snuggled up next to a fire the first night we met. You're like, do you mind if I and I was like, no, let's, come on, get close. And then I got him voted out. And then it was a sacrifice that needed to be made. But yeah, no, we just have stayed in touch.
I'm so happy to be here because, in a way, this is my revenge for CYS. So I'm sure that I will torment you in some ways that you didn't even...
Yeah, with your wordage and your terminology, I'm going to be struggling, fighting for my life, not to get canceled, but like being like, a what? Stuff like that. Speaking about terminology and words, do you remember on our guest forum, we asked you to describe yourself in 3 words? Do you remember what you put?
I think I said emotional.
Okay.
Energetic. Okay. I guess I did not have coffee when I wrote that. I don't know. What did I put?
Enthusiastic, resilient, and emotional. It's funny to me that the one that you remembered, you're like, emotional? As you should be, though. Motion needs to flow. Emotion.
It's true.
My friend Mara taught me that.
Yeah, I might be a man of science, but the Cancer sun, I can't deny it.
It's in you.
Yeah.
It is you. Would you use those words to describe yourself a year ago from today?
Yeah, I would say so. I think there have been obstacles throughout my life, and so I've had to be resilient for a large portion of it. I've always been emotional, and what was the last word? Enthusiastic. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think I have a lust for life, but not in a Lana Del Rey way, but just I'm passionate about everything I do.
As you should be, though. Mm-hmm. You know what? I always say that when someone's like, "You're this," I'm like, "No, I'm passionate."
Yeah, you care.
Yeah, and I deeply. And you know what? That's the Pisces sun in me, and that's against my free will, you guys. So, would you describe yourself that way 5 years ago? So, or would you just say like you've always just been? Those have always been like very core, like not values, but characteristics of yourself.
Yeah, I would say all of those have always been true to who I was, but I didn't believe them.
Ooh.
I didn't own them.
Until when?
I think a lot of it came from living on my own. I had the opportunity to do a semester in undergrad in Edinburgh, Scotland, and giving a 19-year-old who was kind of sheltered free reign to go run amok in the fields and streets. I say fields as if it's very rural. It's the capital of Scotland. But to run amok, made a lot of mistakes, but it was a very safe place for me to test the waters and learn about myself. And I think I have been a lot more self-sufficient ever since.
Oh, I love that. And I want to dive more into what that was like for you. Before we get into that, this podcast is sponsored by New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness. At New Jersey Holistic Healing and Wellness, they believe that balance is the key. That's why they consider the entire person as well as the internal and external factors that affect them. They strive to maintain and restore the balance so that their clients can lead well-rounded, fulfilled lives. The difference between holistic counseling and traditional therapy is the approach taken to help the person truly heal, grow, and navigate through the human experience. As you guys know, I have been coming here. I've been saying 2 years, but somebody I know that comes here just said that they've been coming here for 2 years, and I definitely started coming here before they came here. So I don't know how long I've been here, but I've been here, and you guys know I love it. I actually have an appointment after we wrap this up, and I'm looking forward to it. I have a list handwritten of all the things that I would like to work on now in this new era of life. I feel like it's really important to have an outside source or an outside perspective to help you navigate certain things, especially from a professional standpoint. And it's really nice when their first remark or go-to solution isn't a Band-Aid solution. It isn't numbing you down. It isn't like removing who you are. It's more so like, let's work to get to the root cause. And once you get to the root cause, then we then implement things for that not to be a problem anymore. I have a question card about you traveling. I just didn't have it yet, but you had the perfect flow for it. So I have a quote that you put into our anonymous. I've quoted David. This is David Junga, you guys. Word for word, copy and paste, Google Docs. Going through conversion therapy toward the end of high school forced me to interrogate my own sense of self. It was incredibly tough and at times made me feel very isolated. However, through lots of self-exploration by living abroad and pushing myself out of my comfort zone, I grew into a better, more authentic version of self. there's a lot to digest there. Conversion therapy, just life in high school, sense of self. But it really goes into what you're talking about now, about the whole like knowing who you were, but not really, which I feel like is where I'm at right now, but that's a whole different thing. When you just said that to me, I was like, oh, clock it. I was like, clock it. Like knowing, I told you, like knowing who you are, but now you have to implement it and really live within that.
I'll give you context.
Okay.
So I grew up in Fairfield County, Connecticut. I did not grow up in the area that was adjacent to New York City, so not like the stereotypical idea of what people have of Connecticut. Pretty wooded area. Anyway, my parents, in their undying love for me, maybe took things a little bit too far at times with...
I'm sorry, the way that you're describing this, but yes, true.
I'm trying to paint this in a rosy way because it is somewhat dark, but I also realize the older I get that it's important to, even though I don't necessarily agree with everything that my parents did, I mean, who agrees with everything their decision their parent makes, but I realize that a lot of it came from just wanting to do what they thought was the best, even if looking back we all agree that's not the case. But essentially they wanted to make sure that I was not, you know, in general, my parents had a certain flavor of being protective over me and my sister, and that would often come in the form of having like programs on my computer that would be, anything I typed into it would get sent in an email to my father.
Who invented that? Snitch ass?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I don't know.
That is creepy. That has to be...
Yeah. So I'll give you a quick little vignette of how that was for me. So imagine that you and your friends are studying for the AP US History final exam. And the way that you study is that you take the PowerPoints that your teacher gives you and you modify them to add the most disgusting, vile, sexual innuendos possible.
Okay.
And in the middle of you writing these things, you are in one of your rooms. There's a little TV. You've hooked up your laptop. You've made it a whole presentation. You and your friends have just pulled out all the stops. And your dad bursts in with his own laptop.
Wait. I'm so sorry. Hold on. Because this is like so serious, but I'm trying to like really not. All right, so you're in high school.
I am a junior at Bunnell High School in Stratford, Connecticut. Yes, I'm looking at you, Stratford. Yep. And my friend Paige and my friend John, I don't know what they're up to right now. I hope they're doing well. Maybe this is why we're not friends anymore.
Because your dad bursted in with his own laptop.
And said, so we were saying things like, Thomas Jefferson, like he had a huge cock. That's what we were going with. Okay. And frankly, that helped me remember.
Because you're like, all right, cool, huge cock, Thomas Jefferson, da-da-da.
John Hancock, he signed the Declaration of Independence. It all comes together.
Okay.
I don't know. That's what I was telling myself it was doing.
Listen, it's about how you learn. But your dad didn't like...
No, he was not particularly thrilled with my verbiage.
Yeah.
And I think there must have been a list of words that were, setting off the alarms. Cock being one of them. So... How
as a parent do you read that and then confidently go and confront your child about typing the word cock on their computer?
He did come with the evidence in hand. He came with his computer. But the best part was he storms in with, I love you, Dad. We've come to a great place.
Yeah.
But my dad storms in, and John and Paige are just appalled because they, first of all, don't understand what's going on.
Yeah.
And then are piecing together the fact that, wait, how does your dad have access to this? So when you say I had a little bit of a
monitored,
sheltered in a way.
I would say monitored.
Yes,
strong. That actually I think is quite literally the dictionary terminology to be used there, because it quite literally was monitored on. I just think that whoever created that software needs to be sued in life or punched in the mouth, because my poor friend can't talk about Thomas Jefferson's cock.
Well, I can now.
Yeah.
Thank God.
Thank you. Now look at him. Loud and proud.
And I do it every day. Every day I say Thomas Jefferson.
That's a big cock. Oh, Thomas Jefferson is giggling in the grave, wherever that may be.
Yeah. So, needless to say,
Yeah. Okay.
when those restrictions
Roll it
were
back.
not in my life, I,
Went berserk?
yes,
Oh.
absolutely.
It's so crazy because I feel like sometimes people will speak about that, like parents trying to do like the overbearing, not allowing their child to figure out life naturally, or, just like the typical things that you would learn growing up, not being so monitored and scared to be who you are and stuff like that. That when these kids finally have their breaking point, hello, Disney childhood stars, Nickelodeon childhood stars, they go absolutely fucking nuts. And so for you to say that, it's almost like you said, your parents are trying to do the best that they can. But at the same time, I think there needs to be a bigger conversation of why every kid, not every kid, but statistically many kids in the same similar position as you then hit that point where they go crazy. And realistically, that is dangerous. It's dangerous to have a kid or a person grow up, hit young adulthood, and not understand what being a human being is at such a late stage. So you go to Scotland.
I do. So, being a nerd paid off. So, I entered undergrad with a little over a year's worth of college credits.
Okay, I'm a dropout, so I have no idea what this means, but I just want you to know that I'm nodding to you, but I didn't want to be fake about it.
No, it's okay. I appreciate the transparency. I will elaborate a little bit.
Okay.
So, at my high school, many of the AP courses were dual enrollment with University of Connecticut.
Okay, I know what that means.
Yes.
Okay.
And so, while I was taking the class, I would get college credits for just completing the class and completing certain assignments and exams, except for chemistry, because that was horrible and only I think one person in our class got the credit for it. I got a 16% on the last exam. Up until like a week ago, I was teaching chemistry, so there's that. I mean, I know it now, but
So how did that one person pass?
because he
ChatGPT'd it?
no, this was 2016. We did not have that.
No, you had...
Cora? I don't know. But
yeah, like one of those.
he won the Global Physics Olympiad in, I believe, representing the country of Turkmenistan. So he was eons above the rest of us. He would sleep in class and then get really great grades. We worked together on a lab once, and I was not understanding anything he was doing, but I was very grateful he was my partner. Anyway.
Oh, so he's like a superhuman.
Yeah,
in the
pretty sure
brain.
he went to MIT. Go off, Nazar. Whatever you're doing, go off, Nazar.
I hope you're doing good, Nazar.
Yeah. So all of this to say, I took a lot of AP classes in high school because I wanted to distract myself from things going on at home, and also because I just had desire to do well because I cared so much about what other people thought of me. And so the good thing that came with that is that I took a lot of AP classes and got a lot of college credits. So I started with, I think, 31 credits at a college where 30 credits was a year. And so I entered college with a year's worth of credit.
Do you technically go into like sophomore year?
Yes, and that is why I was a TA my second semester for people that were my roommates and other people who were like my friends and the same age as me and technically like first year students, which was very awkward, but I loved it.
Wait, that is pretty iconic.
I know, right?
To start going to, so basically you like fast forwarded?
I did, but because of the program that I was in, I had to do research, and that could not really be fast forwarded. So I said, what am I going to do with this extra time and these extra credits? I'm going to go fuck around in another country.
Yeah, as you should. And so if you could give, okay, so back to our 3 words. Can you give 3 words for that experience in Scotland?
I would say it was liberating.
I like that one.
Thank you. Trial by fire isn't like one word, but I would say like trial by fire, and every word has like a dash in it, so we can count it as one word.
Okay.
And magical.
Oh, this was like was it like one of the best times of your life?
It was one of the best times in my life, but magic can be scary, and sometimes magicians and wizards can get themselves mixed up in things that they don't fully understand.
Yeah.
And so even though I was excited and having fun with the magic, it's almost like it's like a superhero who has to learn his own powers and how to control them. And so even though there was a lot of magic, there were many missteps, but that helped me learn my boundaries.
So I saw something the other day. I think I might have did I read it to you? I'm like, now I'm having, I don't know, about the wrong decision.
I don't know. Refresh my memory.
How life feels knowing I can't make the wrong decision because every decision I make leads me to where I'm supposed to be. And the lesson of lessons is so crazy. You know, I used to talk a lot about like just past relationships, and I used to be like so mad, right? Like like hateful and just like angry. And then I grew up to realize that like I wouldn't have changed a single thing because or any bad thing that's ever happened to me, because it has made me exactly who I am today. And while sometimes I really struggle with myself because of the things that have happened to me, I know that one, it's fixable. Like you can overcome anything that you want to truly overcome. And when you overcome the bad things that happen to you, when you silverline it, when you take something bad and you flip it to something good, the person you elevate to each time truly is iconic. A fun fact, so this season is called Heart to Heart. Angelina like came forward with it. Like we were like brainstorming. She was like, oh my God, what about Heart to Heart? And I was like, oh, I love that. Trauma. Me and my first boyfriend, when there would be like communication issues, I came up with this thing where I would say, what if we just, when we both want to sit in a space of having like whatever, we say that, can we just have a heart to heart? And I was like, it's kind of crazy because I haven't heard Heart to Heart since then. And that was a very just young relationship. There's so much to unpack there. And that's why I have my counselor, Matt. Shout out, Matt. But it's like, you wouldn't change it. Like, yeah, that actually sucked. And, ooh, sometimes like I look back at the things that I've said or done or, you know, wished, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, that like version of you. But every version of you and every decision that those versions of you make lead you to, as long as you learn from them. However, if you're doing missteps and mistakes and stuff like that, and you're refusing to grow from them, to acknowledge them, that's when you no longer overcome your traumas, you become your traumas. And I think you've done a wonderful job at overcoming them and becoming like a boss ass bitch.
Thank you.
Thank you, Scotland.
Yeah, thank you, Scotland. And also thank you to myself for picking myself back up after I've fallen, you know?
Yes. Because it really does come out. That's why they always say you can't fix somebody else.
That's true. Oof, that's very true. I would also be remiss if I did not shout out my therapist, Kimberly. Kimberly, I adore you. Well, I will be in search of a new one because I am moving, and I am.
No, take her with you. Oh, you don't do virtual?
No, Connecticut and New York, there are some like legality issues, and so it can't happen. But Kimberly, I love you.
Like the fact that there's a legal reason why your therapist who physically and mentally helps you cannot help you because you're crossing a state line. Just say you're not for the people. Just say you fucking hate us. Just say you fucking hate us. That's the whole besides the point. But, well, I hope you find a great new therapist. I don't know about all the legal lines, but New Jersey Illicit Killing and Wellness exists, and they do it virtually. And, you know, in case you want to check it out, or if you guys at home want to check it out, you guys know I shamelessly will shout them out throughout the podcast as many times as it makes sense. I'm not going to shove it down your throat, but I'm going to whip it in your face. Nope, I don't like that terminology. All right, we're done. Cut off. So yeah, do you want to like talk about any of the experiences? An example of one that really, I think a lot of people listening in probably are relating to the whole like missteps and things happening that then transform them though into a better person or aligns them with themselves more.
I mean, if you can't be your own biggest cheerleader, then, you know, you have no business cheering for other people.
Ooh. That was a good one.
Thank you. I'm here all day. So
unpaid.
You're gonna get a bill later.
It's fine. Add it to the previous bill.
So honestly, I can't necessarily pinpoint one event as the turning point when I was living in Scotland, but I would say that it was an amalgam of really poor choices because growing up gay in a home that wasn't promoted, let alone accepted, was I sort of had this like pent up energy of like I need to be out there. Like, I need to make up for this lost time that I did not have in high school. So I downloaded a little app called Grindr, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. I wouldn't say for better or for worse. I'd say for worse or for worse.
I've heard stories about Grindr.
Yes. And whatever you imagine it is, it's probably worse.
Yeah.
I haven't been on for 6-7 years, and I think that's for the best. But 19-year-old me...
Had a field day?
Certainly. And put myself in a lot of very unsafe situations. From going to a Starbucks and getting catfished by someone to which, mind you, not only did I swap, I was talking to this person on Grindr, but I also, I'm pretty sure we talked on WhatsApp, and so I had seen his profile picture, and it was the same as his pictures on Grindr. And then we meet up at the Starbucks near the Edinburgh Castle. It's very picturesque if you ever get a chance to go.
Okay.
Would recommend. And not the Starbucks. Don't just go there for the Starbucks, but I mean like, oh, I'm going to go for the Starbucks. Oh, there's a castle in the background?
Yes.
That's a really nice view.
That's a nice, to get catfish too. At least you had something else to look at.
That's true. And so he arrives. I am flabbergasted. And 19-year-old me was very angry.
Yeah.
And was making a whole scene. And the natural thing that I probably would do now if I was in that situation would just be like, okay, I will remove myself from this situation. No. 19-year-old me said, I am going to figure out what the fuck is wrong with this person. Because why would you do this? And so I ended up like walking through the streets of Edinburgh with this person, sort of interrogating them. And there was a very big language barrier. So it had only been a couple years since I stopped practicing Spanish, but I was whipping out everything I knew to interrogate this man. And
on why, you sick fuck, why would you do this?
Yeah. And he said it had to do with his confidence, which I was like, whatever.
Did he look good in person?
He was pretty attractive, but I ended up making a run for it when he tried to cajole me into getting into his car to go to the beach. And I was like, what the fuck?
You just catfished me, dude.
Yeah.
And I just interrogated you up and down the streets of Edinburgh.
Right.
And you want to go to the beach?
Right.
No, you're going to kill me.
Get me alone in your car.
No, you're going to kill me because I figured it out.
Right,
I figured you out, and now you're going to kill me.
And I was dumb at 19.
Yeah.
But not that dumb. I always like to say I was born at night, but I wasn't born last night. And I tried using that on my mom, and she was like, you were born at 11:30 in the morning. I was there. So it was very bright outside, so you can't use that on me. And I was like, fuck. That was the first time I really tried to use that on someone, and it failed epically because she indeed was there.
I was born at 4:26 p.m. It's not night. I can't do that either.
That's a cursed time, but we don't need to get into that.
Wait, why is that a cursed time?
It's just a weird amalgam of numbers. I don't know.
Is it that set of numbers we talked about last night? No. Is it?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think we are at odds with each other now, and I'm just kidding.
It's just, there's a lot of numbers happening this morning. You guys know how I am. Your coffee cup. My lucky number was on the car in front of me, and then on my total.
Yep.
I don't like the thing about it though is then I'm like, okay, so what's the message? Like, why do I have to figure it out? Like, why do I have to look at the numbers? Can't you just make whatever's supposed to happen? But that's besides the point. Don't get me in that spiel, because technically it is always happening. You don't know, because there's certain things that, like, we're sitting here, we have no idea what's happening behind the scenes.
And the last thing I want to say about that situation of getting catfished, the real kicker here is that after the interaction happened, I went to go block him on WhatsApp, and his photo changed to a woman's, and the name changed to a woman.
Because you figured it out. Oh, he was going to kill you, probably.
Probably, but he himself was a man.
Yeah.
And then he changed himself to a woman.
Because he said, oh, this cover's blown.
Yeah.
I got to go to another one. I'm going to up it, and I'm going to become... Because catfishing from one man to one man wasn't enough. Now I'm going to catfish from female to man. I wonder what he's doing now in life.
Maybe that was the awakening that he needed. Maybe he...
transitioned.
Maybe he's got
a
lace front in his car from now on, just in case he doesn't want to fully commit.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad you didn't get into his car.
Yeah.
And also, up and down the streets interrogating somebody, at least you were in public.
Yes.
At least you were in public.
Let's not even justify this behavior.
Me, I'm always looking for, like, it's so crazy too. You said if you're not going to be your biggest, like your own biggest cheerleader, how you going to cheer for someone else? And I cheer for everybody else but me. And so just saying to you there, like, oh, I'm validating you. But if it were me, I'd be like, you stupid fucking little bitch. Why the fuck would you, da-da-da. But that actually that's going to stick with me. I'm going to start cheerleading. I made a promise. I told David, because he's staying for the weekend, that I'm not going to say a single negative thing about myself the whole weekend. And so far I'm doing pretty good, you guys. Had a slight break this morning with the eyebrow, but we booked an appointment, so it's fine. I accidentally like cut my eyebrows off not too long ago, and instead of like, just like letting it grow out, just the one, I then chopped the other one off. But then that one was now more chopped than the other one, so then I hopped back over to the other brow, and we are down to fine lines. Fine lines on the face. But it's fine. It's going to get permanent.
I'm so glad that me speaking extemporaneously and pulling words out of my ass made a positive impact, because usually I just throw things at the wall and see what stick.
Yeah. Me too, but you use I'm like, everybody needs to have a dictionary when you're watching this episode, because you speak so like eloquently. Eloquently, that's not the right word, but that is also true. But I would say you speak very like sophisticated.
Oh, thank you. Well, I did.
In your turtleneck. Speaking about, your parents and the household, you had mentioned that you were put through conversion therapy. Are you comfortable speaking about that?
Yeah, absolutely. So for context, it was gradual. So I started trying to come out, which is hilarious. So the concept of trying to come out, it's like,
it's
you take a step out of the closet and then you're like, no, get back in there.
Close the door.
Actually, no, that doesn't exist. So I was raised Roman Catholic, and I have to say, I did not have a single negative experience in my church.
Nice.
In terms of my sexuality.
Okay.
And I know that is not the case for many, many, many people.
Yeah.
And if I could drag a church through the mud based on my own experience, I would love to.
You're like, I wish.
I wish. But genuinely, from the bottom of my heart, it was a very accepting place. I mean, I never was outwardly saying anything, but my words didn't have to say anything. My actions and my mannerisms and my interests spoke for me in multitudes. But I had a really positive experience. So the calls were really coming from inside the house when it came to the unacceptance.
Wait, see, you can't say things like that, and I don't want to laugh about what we're talking about, but the call came from inside the closet and the actual house, the closet that was inside the house.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you can't laugh at these things.
Okay, good. I'm glad.
Yeah. No, please do.
I try to be professional, and professionally, I probably shouldn't laugh as much, but I agree. I think laughing at the trauma makes it like, it gives it wazam. It gives it a little sparkle.
Definitely. And I also think it's twofold. One, I think I have enough distance from the situation, and I do not identify very strongly with that version of myself because I have evolved. And two, I think that if we treat things like they exist in a vacuum without humor, then we're sort of missing the humanity of it. And like, that time in my life sucked in some ways, but I was still making light of things and joking, and like, that's how I coped with things. So like, I'm not gonna act like I didn't make jokes or crack jokes
and
or
look at
whatever.
You now.
Yeah.
All right. So calls coming from inside the house.
Yes. So around middle school time, I wrote a fan fiction about my middle school band teacher.
And you?
I don't think I was involved. I think I was just like liked fantasizing him with his life, but not even in like a sexual way. It was just like going about his life.
No, I know, but like, that is borderline crazy.
Borderline? That's full on, okay? I will own that. So I'm pretty sure my mom found that underneath my bed, which, like, who's doing the search under my bed is the real question.
That's where you're supposed to be able to keep your hidden stuff. Under the pillow, under the bed.
And I knew it wasn't original, okay? Like, I knew it.
Okay.
But I didn't realize I was going to be
No, I think you said original? Did you say you knew it wasn't original?
Oh, yeah, I knew it wasn't original.
Babe, that's an original story. The non-fic about your...
I meant where I placed the paper.
I was going to say, because that was a one of a kind story.
It sure was.
Yeah, I feel like to go snooping through your kids' things, like, were you giving signs of something being wrong with you? Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, what makes
Signs. It was a billboard. Full display.
bright lights?
Yeah, I was very reactive. I mean, I'm still quite emotional, but the difference is that I check in with myself and I ask myself, what does the higher version or the high self-esteem version of myself think of this before I make like a big decision? And thank you, Kimberly. And yeah.
I think I need to speak to Kimberly. I'm so sorry, Matt. Because the things that you're saying to me, I'm like blown away. What would the highest version of myself say, think, or do? Mm-hmm. Wait, you're changing my life. You guys think that I'm being, you know that I'm not being dramatic because I don't say what I actually don't feel or whatever. I'm trying to process you changing my life at the same time that I'm trying to keep this show going as a host. Like, I'm supposed to be the one all like, and I'm just like, this is actually insane. Sorry to like tell you this, but moving forward, you are going to be getting a lot of voice memos from me. And if you think I'm joking, like, you've never known peace after today.
I've never known peace. I've never known peace.
No,
so
actually,
I start now.
I feel like you're there's some peace up there because you're bringing me peace like that. There's a lot of words that I feel like need to be taken back. Like, take back its power. One of those words being the N-word. But we won't go into that today. I'm not going to put you in that situation.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I want to wake up every day and serve cunt from the moment my eyes open. And today I actually felt that. I woke up really confused on why it was 5:30, not 4:30. And then I remember Eddie Munson screaming. Did you hear my alarm? Oh, I was so nervous that you had heard it because it's so great. It's you watch Stranger Things? You know, where Eddie Munson's like, whatever that girl's name is, wake up. Yeah, that's my ringtone because it's quite literally the most absurd, scariest thing you could hear in the morning. Like, people when they hear it are like, why would you choose that to be the first thing you listen to? And honestly, I probably should work on that because it does put me in fight or flight, but it makes me get up.
Yeah, nothing like a spike in your cortisol levels to say good morning.
So before we just took a little break halfway through, you were getting into how your church was very accepting. They allowed you to be who you were, how everybody should have the experience in a church regardless of who they are, because when it's not that experience, it kind of goes against the whole entire purpose of the church. However, so conversion therapy was outside of your church.
Right. So, and just to be clear, I was very much monitoring everything I was doing. So I don't think that I was super loud or in your face, especially growing up in the church. I was there basically through birth until maybe I was like 14, 15, regularly attending. And so, yeah, I wasn't like out and proud and like waving a flag or anything.
Like, but twerking in the pews.
Right. Well, that everyone did that. But,
yeah. That was normal.
Yeah, I wasn't super out and proud and whatever. So I think there wasn't necessarily like support or acceptance in any way, but there definitely wasn't anything negative. As the signs became less
hidden.
Yeah, and like you couldn't really ignore them, and the more I sort of took a stand against my parents, specifically my dad being unaccepting, then there was sort of like a breaking point that is way too complicated to get into right now, but that was the whole like, oh, well, I think like we can undo this was the narrative.
Like we can fix him.
Right. And so, when has anyone ever said that and then it worked? In any capacity.
Well, apparently the pastor that you're about to speak about.
Right, this is true. So, it just so happened that there
Pray
was...
the gay away. I'm sorry, yes. I had to say it. Pray the gay away.
We'll get there.
That is crazy.
So we there happened to be someone in the sphere of my family's life who is a minister who used to be gay. I'm not going to wildly conjecture about my own beliefs on that person or how they identify because I don't want to speak that negativity out there. I don't want to be a hypocrite and say I'm focusing on positivity while also dragging this person through the mud because frankly, I think it's already kind of happening.
Can
for
I
them.
be fully transparent about, and this is only because I think if I say it, I'll get it out of my head.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, this is about to be really rated R. Like, the thought of, one, was he a top or a bottom? And two, how, depending on which one, how do you then, like, undo that? Regardless. Like, how do you just want to be like, no, actually. Like, and he was gay for a while, right? Like, literally.
Yeah. I think it was for a sizable chunk of his life.
With him, was he, like, with a man and everything
Yeah.
when he...
Yeah, when someone came with a Bible who was like a friend or something.
And
it was
fixed
like,
him.
So, and that was it.
Yeah, done.
Yeah. And so the craziest part about all of this, despite me being fairly strong in my convictions, is that deep down, I felt so bad about myself. And I thought that if I could be fixed, then I'll do it. Because, mind you, I was very sheltered. And so although I knew and had like a strong feeling about who I was also being told constantly that I didn't know who I was and that my parents knew me better than I knew myself and that basically I couldn't trust my own judgment and that I just had some wires that were crossed that needed to become uncrossed. And I wanted that solution because I, at the time, growing up at the church, was very religious. And so the idea of being condemned to hell because of something that I was told I could fix, I was like, okay, I'll just like fix this and I'll be fine. And I think, as you mentioned, Pray the Gay Way, it was very prayer-based. I've had some weird experiences where people were like, were there drugs involved? Okay, some of the, like,
For the cause of you being gay?
No, for the...
the conversion?
In conversion therapy.
Because I've heard...
Very, very strange. And
I've
actually,
heard that, though.
I'm gonna say that. Well, I never heard that. I mean, I heard, like, the electroshock, right? That was, like... yeah, I feel like that's
Is it? I'm pretty sure it's psychedelics that they'll use.
Interesting. That's so funny that you say that because I literally never thought of that until I had a conversation with Jody Winchesky. Hi, Jody. I never had someone ask me that before, which was very strange.
Clarifying, you weren't drugged.
No, there was no drugs.
Just a lot of
I was
praying.
only high on God, high on Christ.
High on Christ.
Yeah.
Amen.
Yeah. And I believed it. And so what would happen is that we would have these weekly meetings, and I would buy into it because I was so desperate to change myself. So I would come out of these meetings feeling like euphoric and that all of my problems had been solved and that all I had to do was like not look at a guy who was shirtless who was jogging across the street and like avert my gaze and do whatever I could to like not water whatever this uncouth, unholy behavior was, right?
Yeah.
And so...
Because it's not real.
Right, of course not.
It's just you're a sinner.
Exactly. And so it would be this cycle of me believing that, and then as the days progressed between each session, it would sort of wear off, and I would say, like, what the fuck? I don't think that.
It's not funny. Sorry, keep going.
No, that's okay.
It's because I can not visualize it, but visualize it in the sense of you going through this, like, conversion therapy. You're like, oh my God, okay, good. Not gay. And then, like you said, day go by, and you're like, it's wearing off. And it's just crazy because realistically, nothing's wearing off. You're literally just gay. Like,
yeah.
And you can't ignore the shirtless men for too long because my body, my brain, and everything goes hot.
Exactly.
Spicy. I like that right there. But then you would go back again. And that has to be such a traumatic cycle to be put in by the people that love you with the intention that they think that they're helping you, but also putting yourself through that, like fighting against, you're literally at war with yourself. Yeah. And when you bring religion and stuff like that into it, it's even heavier because it's faith. And like, that's what is the foundation of your life. So you literally you have no foundation.
Yeah. And it feels so much bigger than just you because there are these cosmic implications to whatever. But truly, I identify as agnostic, but whatever is out there, they don't give a shit about what I'm doing.
What is agnostic?
So agnostic means that I believe that there is something out there. I just don't necessarily know what it is. If it's a god, sure, we can call it that. If it is a turtle in the sky named Edward, then Godspeed. But I believe in something. I believe that there is a higher power.
You just don't label it.
But I don't label it.
Oh, I say I'm spiritual. I know that I feel like spirituality is very energy based faith. So I always tell everybody I believe everything's energy, quite literally. I feel like that has been proven time and time again. Yeah. But no, we don't. That's what faith is all for, and that's why people have different faiths. They have different cultures that go into what they believe and why they're here. And I think people need to be more accepting of that. Just because your God looks a certain way doesn't mean that someone else's God is necessarily wrong. How do you know that you're not speaking about the same person, but it's just told in a different story? Yeah. Because of a different cultures where things you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think people are always like, no, it's mine. Plot twist for everybody who didn't know this before listening to this podcast. Every good based faithful religion, you are all speaking about the same thing. You are all speaking, you are all praying, you are all faithful to the same thing. You're literally just calling it different versions of self. Mm-hmm. And I do know that there is certain religions where there's multiple gods. I'm not saying that that's wrong.
And I love the idea of people wanting to inform and spread awareness and love and compassion through religion. But sometimes, in my experience, that can come at a cost. Someone has an ulterior motive or whatever, which again, it's very interesting when people think that they are doing what is best for other people, but in reality, it's very caustic. And especially as a child, I wasn't making the decision for myself. I didn't have the awareness or a lot of the consent to be in this, which, by the way, I want to say for a lot of people out there, it's not like conversion therapy comes across with a really bright neon sign being this is what it is. It doesn't get fed to you that way. If it got fed to you or posed to you that way, people wouldn't go through with it for the most part. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously there were certain levels of self-loathing that allowed for me to be so willing to do it, but it doesn't often come that way. It wasn't pitched to me that way. Yeah. It was sort of just we're going to uncross some wires and you're going to get closer to God and that'll help you correct this unwanted feeling. But again, I just want to say that for people because I feel a lot of people think of course we should stop that because that's just so wrong. But it's not always super obvious. It sometimes takes a more a different form.
For you to realize what you're in almost or what you're experiencing. As a parent, you have to ask yourself, what about you is causing you not to accept your child for who they are? Is it fear of something you've never experienced before? And I think that says more about the situation than your kid being unique does.
Definitely. It was very emotionally damaging to go through the cycle of thinking that I had found some cure or some panacea, a cure-all, and then days later have it wear off, and that happened for a really long time. That was the most damaging part, and I think that was the most challenging for my identity because what kind of sense of self do you have if it's changing constantly and you're constantly at war with yourself? But I think as well, my parents' fear really came from the fact that they did not want me to have a harder life. And from their perspective, I think they sort of saw it as a choice and that why choose to be marginalized if you didn't have to be? Obviously, now they know that it is not a choice. And I'm very, very grateful for the ways that they have listened and have been, obviously it's been a non-linear path, but we've made great progress. And I think they're my biggest supporters. Mm-hmm. My dad, a couple of years ago, offered to go to New York City Pride with me, and I was like, so no, but I love that you offered.
Yeah.
Absolutely not, but thank you.
But it's the thought that counts, Dad, but the answer is what counts more, and it's a hard fucking no.
But I was touched.
But you worked through it. You've worked through a lot. I mean, we've talked about a lot of things. We talked about, just self-identity, sexuality, conversion therapy, Thomas Jefferson's cock size, just what counseling you do. You changed my perspective on so many things. I'm so excited to spend the rest of this weekend with you because I'm like, oh my God, you're going to leave. And am I going to be out of my rut? Did you just fix me? And I think I already know that I'm going to get so much feedback and messages about this episode. There's usually that 1 or 2 episodes throughout the season. I mean, every episode changes everybody's lives and creates the space, but I will say each season has had a certain episode or 2 where everybody's like, wow, that really did click something for me, and I have a good feeling that it's going to be this episode just based off of how much has clicked for me listening. And I know how, not necessarily similar, but the people in the spaces are, because that's why we're all in this space, is because we have something similar or in common, or there's a common ground, whether it be just being a human or, you know, stuff like that. And I'm really grateful that you felt comfortable enough to come into the space and speak about what you're speaking about. I think we could talk about this for hours. Unfortunately, I have a therapy session to jump right into, and it's a much needed, let me tell you guys. But yeah, this was I hope you guys had a great time sitting with us this Sunday. We will have a new episode possibly out next Sunday. We might be in between. So next week, it might be a new episode or not a submission. This is filmed a little bit in advance, so I'm not sure. Don't have my Google Calendar pulled up. It probably would put you guys into cardiac arrest to see what my calendar looks like. It's crazy, but I love it. I love being busy. I love this. And if this is your first time tuning in, I hope you loved watching it. You can find all of our stuff at the Get Well Soon podcast. And if this is not your first time, or somebody sent it to you, or you sent it to somebody else, however this reached you, I'm very glad that it did. And I hope that you stay tuned for everything to come. We love you guys, and we will see you guys next week. Oh, did you have anything to say?
Yeah, I just want to thank you. Thank you for letting me talk.
I'm like, and now?
Yeah, and thank you so much for letting me talk about my experiences. I hope that this will shed some light on some things that people maybe don't know a lot about, and also
Thomas Jefferson's cock size.
Yes, most importantly. Sorry. And also just remind people that you never know what the future has in store. And it sounds so corny, but if you had asked me growing up if my parents would be accepting and my biggest supporters, then I would say, hell friggin' no. But they are. So genuinely, things that you can't even fathom are waiting for you in the future, and it's just for you to go out there and chase them. So.
And your future self is sitting there waiting for you. Yep. Like, your future self was sitting here waiting on this couch for you.
That's true.
And here you are on a podcast talking about, like, the whole dynamics of your family, let alone that is the dynamics of your family.
Insane.
To help the people out there in the world.
Insane.
Good job.
Thank you.
That was a high five.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay. Bye, guys.